In the realm of experience, this year's grave national and local data about adolescents and mental health made it more important than ever to focus not only on preventing, combating threats and dangers, but also enhancing our healthy Jewish community and a deep-seated sense of belonging. We do this within concentric circles of community. A key component of prioritizing experience is making sure that parents are well-informed and that every student is meaningfully connected to an adult on campus. As you can see, 91% of our students feel connected to at least one adult on campus. And we know that when kids feel connected, they thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. The data you see here is the result of a lot of intentional work on this priority. This year, Karen Heller assumed the role of Director of Student Life, and through her work, Milken Spirit and Pride continues to shine as we hosted the largest challah bake and homecoming in Milken's history. And we've added socials for every division in all school Shabbaton and house celebrations, contests, and tournaments. We've grown our Madrichim program, in which our 8th graders help to acculturate and support our 6th graders. And we brought back our Varikim program that pairs our 12th graders with a 9th grade advisory to help the youngest members of our upper school to acclimate and get involved. For the first time, we're running an 11th grade health program focused on issues such as consent, suicide, fentanyl, and addiction. Increasing belonging, wellness, and overall experience is vital for our students, and it leads to the secondary benefit that Milken parents and students are sharing their positive experiences. Many parents have shared that it feels like the whole of Los Angeles is buzzing about Milken, and the numbers support that narrative, with inquiries up 45% and applications up 49% over the last 3 years. As enrollment continues to increase, so too does our diversity. I'm proud of our geographic diversity, with 54 different feeder schools represented at Milken. I'm proud of our socioeconomic diversity, with 40% of our families receiving some form of tuition assistance. I'm proud of our ethnic diversity, with at least 8 different languages spoken in our families' homes. And just this past year, I'm proud that we were able to enroll Jewish students who moved from the Ukraine to escape the war. Siri Turk, a revered social science teacher and educator, in her role as Milken's Diversity and Inclusion Coordinator, is helping our students to develop knowledge and a range of perspectives on experiences that exist within and beyond our gates, and with a recognition that the collective Jewish experience with anti-Semitism and ostracism informs our work on combating all other isms and hateful intolerance. The students you will hear from next have tremendous courage, and I'm grateful for them to sharing insight that is both deeply personal and often controversial in the polarized world in which we live.
Thank you, Dr. Shulkind. As a Jewish woman of color who chose to find her home in a Jewish pluralistic community, I was really struck by the comfort and sense of kehillah that I felt upon my first time here at Milken, and by the Ahavat Israel that has been nurtured within me in the 9 years that I've been here. But I also realized that not everyone has that same sense of belonging. And it was that realization, coupled with student voices, both current and past, that led me to help Milken to create and sustain a community that embraces pluralism in its many facets and creates and engenders a sense of belonging and comfort in all of its members. The students here before us tonight have each contributed to developing an awareness of and appreciation for the different aspects and perspectives that are alive in our community. And this is not easy stuff. As Mr. Sandler and Dr. Shulkin alluded to before, these topics can be polarizing and uncomfortable to talk about in the best of circumstances, let alone on a stage, under bright spotlights, in front of all these grown-ups. So, I ask that you give a warm welcome and a round of applause to Noah DeBasque, Nathan Farzadmer, Ari Hoffman, and Courtney Wiesel. So Courtney, I'm going to start with you. You had this amazing opportunity to participate in the Student Diversity Leadership Conference, which is sponsored by the National Association of Independent Schools. This is a prestigious and selective national convention in which you have the opportunity to engage with peers from diverse backgrounds all around the country. When we talked after this experience, you brought back this passion, this interest in delving into identity. And so I'd like for you to share with us, what is it about exploring the identities of others that helps to inform one's own identity formation?
Yeah, so basically during the Student Diversity Leadership Conference, listening to others' experiences allowed me to sort of reflect on my own experiences more deeply, and through hearing what students from all around the country my age have had to say in their experiences with discrimination, and getting to share my own experiences with discrimination, mainly in the form of anti-Semitism, it really led me to the realization that I'm not alone outside of the Jewish community, which is really important to me because with going off to college next year, I will be entering a new environment where the majority of my peers will not be Jewish. And so with that comes a greater chance of encountering or facing anti-Semitism. And so SDLC for me, it helped me to feel more comfortable coming into and expressing pride in my Jewish identity. And what the takeaway for me from SDLC was that I'm passionate about leading conversations around identity within the Milken community, and in hopes of helping my peers sort of compare identities that may seem different and making connections between them, and in doing so, hopefully my peers or students at Milken will be able to find more of themselves in their Jewish identity and be able to take that with them once they leave here at Milken.
Thank you. You know, so reflecting on that idea of student voices, being able to create spaces where you can connect and talk about these things. I'm going to turn to you, Ari. And you and several of your peers, Ilana Frid-Madden and James Greer, have recently done an amazing job with developing and growing the Gender Sexualities Alliance here at Milken. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to take a leadership role in these spaces.
So in middle school, I didn't have a lot of role models who were out in the Milken community. So when I was forming my own identity, as well as just navigating the responses to me coming out as lesbian, I was afraid and unsure. And also I didn't have those role models easily available. So when I joined the high school, I also joined the GSA there. And while there were only a few people, I managed to find those role models, and I managed to compare experiences and learn from them so that I felt more comfortable and I felt more normal in this school and in the rest of the world. So when COVID hit, I got a text message from the previous president asking me and Ilana to take over the GSA. I readily accepted, and every week we led Zoom meetings, and the primary goal that I decided that I wanted GSA to be about was creating those role models and encouraging student voices to be advocates for themselves and advocates for their community to create lasting change in order to make Milken a warm and inviting environment for all identities.
Thank you. That piece about student voices and empowering them to be strong advocates for their community and their experiences leads me to discuss this with you, Nathan, because you and your peer, Nathan Namvar, started our Persian Culture Club last year. This has been an amazing program, and it's been really interesting to see how the program has developed, particularly this year with the changing face of Iran and the current social protests and struggles that are happening there. So tell us a little bit about what initially motivated you to develop this club, and perhaps what you're proudest of in terms of how the club itself has grown.
Well, since the murder of Mahsa Amini in September, our club's mission and goal has pivoted and grown from just being about learning and teaching other students in the Milken community about our own Persian culture to now focusing on the current state of Iran and the protests and the Iranian government. And since September, I've personally been more motivated to advocate for my Persian heritage and to see a change in Iran, because the people in Iran are struggling and it's hard for me to watch and stand by. But initially, that's not why we started our club. Initially, we wanted to start our club because we wanted to enhance the perception of Persian culture in our community. We know there are different stigmas around Persian culture and Persian people, and we want to try and change it. And we also want to go learn more about our historical aspect. We want to learn pre-revolution how life was for Jews, how life was for Persians. And I think we've accomplished this both with Persian students and non-Persian students. And throughout all of this, what I'm most proud of is the environment we've created. We've created an environment where all students can come and learn about our Persian culture, and we can learn about their own cultures and their different traditions. We can deep dive into their traditions and why they do it. We can learn the origins of their different traditions and cultures. And my one wish for all my members is, as I leave and as my members leave Milken, for them to create and foster new environments in the places they go. I want them to be able to teach their culture to other people and for them to be able to learn other people's cultures so that we can have a more well-rounded and more well-taught society.
Thank you. That idea of creating spaces where you can develop a deep contextual understanding of your own culture, where you can share that knowledge with others, and where you can learn from others is so pivotal to our portrait of the graduate and our goal for Milken students. And so I turn to you, Noah, when we reflect on this aspect of what brings us to this work and what draws us as a Jewish people uniquely to this. Because for Milken, a foundational element of developing a community that is both diverse and inclusive is related to our historic and current connection to the marginalization and oppression of anti-Semitism. So in reflecting on anti-Semitism itself and on the concept of Jews as a stranger in a strange land and the responsibility that that brings with it, what do you think has been the work of Arevut, and how has that mission impacted our work of Arevut here at Milken?
So being strangers often means that our experience as Jews and with anti-Semitism is invalidated, and there's a lack of empathy for it. And so we should see that as a responsibility and a call to action to ensure that others aren't made to feel the same way. And coming from a more diverse public school, which had its own pluses and minuses, one thing that I really like about Milken is the acceptance for and the encouragement of my Judaism, and knowing that when I walk around campus, I have something in common with everyone here, and that my Judaism isn't going to be made to be a target against me. And in addition to that, one thing that comes with the relative lack of diversity that a community like Milken has is a lack of acceptance and a lack of excitedness about the perspectives of others. And so this week with RA Voot Week, we got to hear the different perspectives of those both within and without of our insular community. And I think that allows us, experiences like those allow us to celebrate the diversity we do have and be more welcoming to that we don't. And I think that more work in this field and more experiences like this are going to take Milken a long way.
Thank you. I think reflecting on that piece of being able to share with others, having the safe space of this community, but also being able to grow and learn is a powerful part of what we offer here in the Milken community. And I want to say thank you to all of you, not only for your willingness to share under the bright spotlights in front of this audience, to share with this community, but even more so for your willingness to be leaders and educators in this space, and for the gift, the legacy that you are leaving of a Milken community that is one that embraces its pluralistic nature and creates a space of comfort and belonging for all of us. Thank you so much for being here.
I am so proud of these students who no doubt will help us to create a more perfect world. In the realm of experience, we also know how important athletics is to student life and the sense of campus spirit, especially with 70 to 80% of the student body participating in any given season. So this year, we brought our basketball, volleyball, and strength and conditioning coaches onto our full-time faculty. And for the first time, we're running off-season programming in baseball and basketball and planning to add volleyball and water polo soon in the future. In partnership with our ad hoc athletics task force, we're examining the goals set forth by our strategic vision, and we're looking to raise the profile of athletics in our school and across the city.